All right, so we're in chapter 1. Now, what 3 things are we going to be learning about in chapter 1, guys?
Expressions, equations, and functions.
Yep, all 3 of those things we're going to be learning about. Okay? And hopefully you are able to distinguish between those 3 things when we're done. Fair enough? Okay. In lesson 1, we're going to be talking about variables and expressions. Okay, the first thing I want to know, what's a numerical expression? What's an algebraic expression? Okay, those are the 2 things we're going to talk about first. And there's a difference. Okay. But you see how they both have that word expression after them? Yes? Okay, an expression has no equal sign. Expressions do not have equal signs. Okay? So is an expression something that you can solve? No, because there's no equal sign. Okay? All you can do with an expression is simplify it, which we will get to later. All right, what do you think that word numerical means? What do you think this word numerical right here means? But all numbers. With the numbers, though, you could have operations. So numerical expressions have numbers and symbols. So would anybody like to give me a example of a numerical expression? Numbers and symbols. Oh, come on. What do you think?
1 divided by x.
Numbers and symbols. See how you put that x in there? Pick something else besides x.
Y.
Still picking a letter, right? I just want numbers and symbols.
Oh, okay. 5 times 8.
Perfect. That is a numerical expression. Numbers and symbols only, but remember it's an expression, so we cannot have an equal sign. Somebody give me another one. Anybody? Wonderful. Those are all numerical expressions. Anybody want to take a guess at what an algebraic expression is? Algebraic kind of looks like the word algebra, right? In fact, the word algebra is right in there. What do you think might be different? Numbers and letters. And what do we call letters in math? Somebody said it. Anybody? Variables. Algebraic expressions have numbers, variables, and symbols. Numbers, variables, and symbols. So, can you give me an example of an algebraic expression? Good.
2 times x.
Wonderful. So if we do 2 times x, I'm just going to call it 2x. Is that okay? Everybody, did you guys learn back in pre-algebra last year this is multiplication, right? Okay. Give me another algebraic expression.
5 times 1.
Everybody good? We'll make it a little bit longer this time. What do you think? Is that still an algebraic expression? Yeah. Notice none of these have equal signs because they are expressions. How are we doing? So far, so good? Okay. Next thing I want to talk about. I've got this problem over here. And I want you to know the different parts of this problem. First of all, what operation is happening over here? This is multiplication. Notice it has an equal sign. So is this thing an expression? It is not an expression. Okay? But what I need you to know is that this side, those are called the factors. And this side over here is called the product. Those are words that you should have heard before. Okay? Factors are the 2 numbers that get multiplied. The product is the answer. All right, over here now. I am going to pay close attention to that portion right there. What is that little 3 up there called? Yep. It's an exponent. What's another word for exponent? Perfect. Exponent or a power. What does that mean? If I have something to the 3rd power, what does that mean? Times itself 3 times. So this doesn't mean x times 3. It means x times x times x. All good? All right. Well, this x down here is important too. Anybody know what that x is called? It is a variable, but with the exponent on it, what's it called? You got it. It's called a base. Please notice that I did not point to that 5, did I? That 5 doesn't have a power on it. Actually, I won't say that. The 5 doesn't have a power on it. If there's no power there, it's assumed to be a 1. Okay, but we don't write the little 1 up there. But we're just talking about that x. Okay, wonderful. Moving on. We're going to do some translating. We have Spanish class here at the high school, right? They do a lot of translating from Spanish to English, from English to Spanish. We're going to translate from math to English. So can you give me a list of words that mean this symbol right here? What do you think? Give me some words. Addition. I'm just going to put add so it's nice and short. What else? Sum. Keep going. Uh-huh. Increase. What else? Perfect. More than. And folks, I'm going to put a little star next to this one. And you'll see why later. All right. Can you give me some words that mean that symbol? Keep going. And I'm going to put a star next to that one. Anything else? Okay, now I'm going to write one more word under this column, and it's just going to be the word less. But I'm not going to put a star next to it. Less than and less are going to be 2 different things. Now, does anybody know why I put a star next to more than and less than? Anybody want to help out? Does anybody have any idea why I put a star next to them? No, good guess though. Good guess. No, good guesses. For word problems, what's going to happen in word problems that's going to be different? It is subtracting, but that word than means to do something. Okay, so let me ask you this question. If I say 2 less than 10, what does that mean? 2 less than 10. Yeah, if I say 2 less than 10, that means 10, and then subtract the 2, right? You see how I have to switch the numbers that I actually said them in? Yes? Okay, so if I say 5 less than 20, it's actually 20 minus 5. I got to flip-flop the order. Does everybody understand what I'm talking about there? That's what the than means. That's why I put a star next to them. Okay, how about that symbol over there? Really short word. Itty bitty word. 2 letters. No? So for example, if I say half of a number, like half of 10, that means to take 10 and multiply by a half, and you tell me 5, right? If I say half of 100, that's half times 100, would be 50. Everybody good there? Okay, a specialty one is twice. Because what does twice mean to do? Multiply by 2. Wonderful. How about the next symbol over there? What do we got?
Quotient.
Quotient. No, shout them out. Divide. I think that's it for divide. There isn't really much we can do with divide, is there? Okay. And over there, now we haven't used this symbol at all yet today because we've been talking about expressions. But I just want to get some words up here that mean that symbol over there. So what do you think that is? Sum we got over here. So that would be the equal sign if it was addition. But I'm going to keep that here because it's a specialty one for addition, okay? What does that mean? What is that? Equal. What are some words that mean equal? What does equal mean? Same. Normally it will say the same as. What if I told you 5 plus 3 is 8? 5 plus 3 is 8. What word in there means equal? Is. The last one I have for here is total. Okay, so I have all these words. Now we're going to actually translate. So this handout that you have, it should say 1-1 variables and expressions handout on one side. You all see that? That's the side that I'm on. So we are going to translate these from words to math. Here we go. The sum of 18 and 9 times a number. First of all, what does sum mean to do? Add. So I know I have to add. Now, should I put the adding symbol out front? Well, that would be silly to start with a plus sign, right? What is the first thing that I'm going to be adding? So 18, and then we're going to put our plus. How do I show 9 times a number? Do I know that number? What do you want to use? X, Y, A, B, I don't care, but don't use O. Fair enough? I also wouldn't suggest using L because L can look like a 1. Also wouldn't suggest using an S because if you get sloppy with your S's, what do they look like? 5s. Okay, so what do I put here? 18 plus X. Over to number 2. The product of 4 times a number and 12. What does product mean? Multiply. Do I start with the multiply symbol? No. I'm going to start with 4 times a number. How do I show 4 times a number? I'll use N this time. And you told me product meant to do what? Multiply. And what am I multiplying that by? Wonderful. The difference, what does difference mean? Subtract. Should I start with the subtraction sign? No. 17. And then we have our difference. How do I show the product of 3 times a number? You guys know it. Shout it out, okay? I'm going to use an A here. You could use a B. You could use an M. I don't really care what you use. How are we doing so far? Easy enough, right? Okay. Number 4, the quotient. What does quotient mean? Divide. Now you can actually use a divided symbol or you can use a fraction bar. Which do you prefer? Divided symbol. Now it says the quotient of 3. So I'm going to put a 3 in front of there. Now it says, and the sum. Guys, what does sum mean to do? So should I put a plus sign right next to this divided sign? That would look silly, wouldn't it? You need to divide the entire sum. So I'm going to put this in parentheses, and my plus sign is going to go in that parentheses. Okay, what 2 things am I adding here? 4 and a number. I'll use C this time. How we doing? Easy peasy? Okay. Moving on, number 5. 8 more than. Okay, you see more than, correct? Which means I need to flip it. So should the 8 come first or second? Second. And more than means to add. Now how do I show a number squared? Exponent, up top, right? We'll go ahead and use X. Now, does it really make a difference if you switch around an adding problem? It doesn't. But it does for subtraction, right? That's called the commutative property, and we're going to talk about that later this week. 10 less than a number. Uh-oh, less than. What does that mean to do? Flip it. So less than means subtract my 10. I don't know, how about an R this time for my number? 2/3 of a number. Now, what does that little word of mean? Multiply. So how do I show 2/3 of a number? Times a number, right? How about y? I'm going to smush them together because we're multiplying. Increased by 6. What does that mean? Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. 7 less the product. Now you guys see, that doesn't say less than, does it? It just says less. So do I need to switch it here? Nope. 7 less the product of 4 and a number. How do you show the product of 4 and a number? Multiply 4n. Sounds good. Okay. I only got a couple more in this section. 3 times a number squared. How do I represent 3 times a number squared? Go ahead. To the second? Wonderful. Increase by 4. Plus 4. Okay, now it says twice the sum. What does twice mean to do? Multiply, and I need to multiply by a sum, right? Isn't there 2 things in a sum? First number, second number? So when I do twice the sum, it's going to look like that. And what am I adding together here? A number and 7. I use a Z this time. All right, half the difference. Folks, what does half mean to do? Divide by 2. Okay. Now it says half of the difference. Doesn't the difference have 2 things in it? First number, second number, right? So what do I need to use? Parentheses. So I'm going to be dividing by 2. And what does difference mean? What am I subtracting? 9 and a number. 9 and a number. You guys see how we indicate when to use parentheses and all that? Okay, one more. 10 less than, less than, what do I have to do? Switch it. So I'm going to put my minus 10 at the end. 4 times the sum. Hold on, folks. How many things does the sum have in it? 2. So 4 times the sum. Times the entire sum. It says a number and 1. Okay? Wonderful. All right, we're moving right along here. Okay. Now we've got some word problems. You have to write an expression. What does an expression not have? An equal sign. So can I solve it? We're just going to write it. It says a bakery sells a dozen bagels B for $8.50 and a dozen donuts D for $3.99. Do you see how they told me what variables to use? Okay, so how much am I going to pay for just the bagels? $8.50, and how many of them am I buying? I don't know, do I? B of them? So how do I represent that? If I bought 10 dozen bagels, what would you do? You'd multiply. What if I bought 20 dozen bagels? What if I bought 2 dozen bagels? So how do I show that? You got it, $8.50 B. Now Now how about the donuts? $3.99D, because depending on how many I told you to go out and get, you'd put that in there for D, right? Okay, moving on. Car rental company charges $40 per day D to rent a car, 5 cents for every mile M driven, and a $10 insurance fee. Okay, let's do the days first. How do I represent my days? Plus, how do I show 5 cents a mile? 0.05. Don't put 0.5, that means 50 cents. Don't put a regular 5, that means $5. Okay, 0.05 M. How about that $10 insurance fee? Just plus 10. Guys, did that $10 insurance fee change at all? No. So it doesn't have a variable. The word variable has vary in it, correct? Yep. If it doesn't vary, it doesn't need a variable. The area of a triangle is calculated by finding half of the product of its base B and height H. Half of the product. What does product mean to do? Okay, so how do I do that? Half times what? B. Also times what? There we go. Half BH. Now, folks, again, they're telling you what variables to use, right? Not so much in this next one. When Alicia babysits, she charges $2.50 an hour for each child age 2 and under, and $2 an hour for each child over age 2. Write a variable expression to represent the amount of money Alicia earns during each hour of babysitting. Okay, so what do you want to use for the kids that's under 2? A, B, X, whatever you want to use. I'll just say A. What do you want to use for over 2? R. Now, folks, we just defined your variables. You know how in English and sometimes social studies you have to define vocabulary words? You're just basically telling what they mean, right? Well, this is defining variables. You're telling what your variables mean. Okay, so under 2. How are we going to represent that? Under 2 is how much? 250. So 250A plus, how about those that are over 2? $2 R. Now you can put the 0.00 if you want to, but you don't have to there, okay? How are we doing? Word problems are okay so far? Yeah? All right, I'm going to have to pick up the pace here a little bit. Ms. Monroe makes and sells candles. For her medium-sized pillar candles, she charges $5.50 for unscented and $7 for scented. Did they tell you variables to use? No. So what do you want to use? U and S? U for unscented, S for scented. You must define your variables if they are not given to you. All right, unscented, what do we got? Scented. 7S, be careful with those S's, make sure they don't look like 5s. All right, you do 18 on your own, go for it. Hopefully, you have that. How we do? All those pieces are good? Okay. Moving on. Leanne is 3 centimeters taller than Fred. If Fred is F, then what is Luann? Taller. What does that mean I probably should do? So what would you write here for your answer? F plus 3. Good. This one's a little bit trickier though. Maria has $10 more than Louisa. Maria has M. How much does Louisa have? We know Maria, right? M. Does Louisa have less or more?
Less.
Maria has more, right? Louisa has less then, don't we? So how would I represent this? You got it, M minus 10. Gotta make sure we read carefully. The sum of two numbers is 17. I know one of them is x. What would you use to represent the other one? Let me give you an example. I know the sum is 17. What if I tell you one of them is 10? What would you tell me the other one is? So what'd you do there? You subtracted, didn't you? So what would I write here for this one? There we go. Okay, let's talk about the word consecutive. Guys, what does consecutive mean? Repeat it in a row. So consecutive numbers would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are consecutive, right? How far apart are they when they're consecutive? They're just one apart. Don't they go up by one every time? Okay, so if I want 3 consecutive integers, we would call the first one x. What would the next one be if I go up by 1? If I go up by 1, how do I go up by 1? Add 1, right? So the next one would be x plus 1. Is that okay for everybody? What would the next one be? Because I gotta have 3 of them. X plus 2. How's everybody doing here? What was I supposed to do with these 3 consecutive integers? Add them, right? So I want to add them. Then it says increased by 3 times the smallest. What does increase mean to do? Increase means to add 3 times the smallest. Which one was the smallest? X. So how do I show that? 3x. Good. Wonderful. All right, let's see if I get this last one in here. 3 consecutive odd integers. Okay, odd integers. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, right? How far apart are those? They're 2 apart, aren't they? So if I call the first one x, what would you call the second one? What would you call the third one? How's everybody doing with that? Some people get confused because you say, wait, they're odd, they're odd. Why am I adding 2 and 4? Those are even. I'm just telling you how far apart they are, right? What about for even integers? How far apart are even integers? 2. Odd and even integers are the same number apart, aren't they? So if this question was changed to say even, you'd do the same thing. Because they're still 2 apart, aren't they? Okay, what was I supposed to do with these? Add them. Uh-oh, it says less than. What does less than mean to do? So that means all of this has to come at the end, right? So I better go like that. Now, folks, I have to subtract this whole thing. How do I make sure I subtract the whole thing and not just that first x? Parentheses. And what was I supposed to be subtracting it from? 7. Whew, that was like speedy today. How's everybody doing? A-okay? Yeah? Okay. That is translating. Your homework is that. Make sure you don't lose this because we're going to use it back tomorrow, okay? Okay. Any questions for me today? How'd we do? Okay on our first day of actual math stuff? Yeah? Fantastic. All right, once you get that written down, you are free to go. Make sure you are quiet in the hallways. Yep, and it doesn't have to be on a separate sheet. If you just want to put it in a spiral, that's fine, because I'm just going to check it for completion. Okay. All right, folks, have a great day. Stay cool over there. Think about us over here sweating. Yeah. Oh, quiet in the hallway.